Let's say you only got about 500 bucks and you want to turn it into more money. I did this exact formula for you guys live in front of you guys every day for the last about 3 weeks. I have literally now, all glory be to God first and foremost, I have taken about $500 and almost 5x that money in about 2 to maybe closer to 3 weeks now of trading. I'm going to give you guys the exact formula I use to take a small amount into literally multiplying it multiple times. You guys can do this, by the way, on prop firms. You guys can do this with your own live capital, but you have to understand when you have live capital and you only have a little bit of risk, like 500 bucks, you have to be very cautious. Make sure you are taking only A+ trades and sizing accordingly. But this is the exact edge that I use to help me out, make a bunch of money, and turning, by the way, $500 into almost $2,500 now, a couple of weeks later. Let's get into the video. God bless. This is the exact formula I've been using that's literally been printing us money, by the way, in the live, as well as the exact formula that God provided me to be able to make money and take that small $500 into almost $2,500 now in less than a month, literally about 3 weeks of trading. This is it. I'm not sugarcoating it. I'm not hiding anything from you. All you need are two things. You need access first to a seconds chart. You could do it on a 5-second chart, a 10-second chart, 15-second chart. It doesn't really matter. We're looking for the exact same thing. Now, you technically can also do this on a 1 minute, but you have to be a lot more patient and you have to risk a lot more. I personally like doing it on the seconds chart. My risk is really tight, and I know that the market typically falls in my favor within that first 1 to 2 minutes of the market open. This is the edge that literally prints me money, and if you do it correctly, you guys will also be able to take your small prop firms and be able to start getting payouts from them just doing this simple formula. Secondly, you guys need access to order flow, which is a CVD chart you guys see down here. This is CVD, okay? It stands for cumulative volume delta. It will help you out a lot to make sense of the market. Now, the third thing I forgot to mention is that you guys need to do this on Heikin-Ashi candles, not regular candles, not volume profile candles, not delta candles, not Renko candles, literally Heikin-Ashi candles. So remember, we need, first and foremost, we need Heikin-Ashi candles. Then we need access to a seconds chart. And thirdly, you guys need CVD. Now, the sweet spot to do this is that first probably like 1 to 2 minute of the market open. After that, I pretty much convert over to a 1 minute or a 3 minute chart looking for a bigger play, a play with much bigger moves. So that way I can essentially assess the risk and make more money going for like 30, 40 points versus going for like quick 7 to 10 point winners. Let's get into the edge now. So this is the edge. It's super simple. All you want to do is wait for market to open up. We got to make sure that the market, so price action itself, and the order flow are doing the same thing. They are printing the exact same way, meaning if price action is going up, I also want to see my CVD also going up. That's all I need. Super simple, right? So up and up. We can literally just look at down here and up here and say, okay, this one's going up, this one is going up. Cool, check mark number one. Number two, I typically like to find areas of rejection, so trapped buyers or sellers. So this for me would be a trapped area. This also for me would be a trapped area. I then use these areas, by the way, as take profits. So you guys can see here, take profits. I like to typically use these areas as TPs. I like to use both of these areas as take profits because it gives me the most comfortable amount of risk. Like I actually know that the market should go back into those imbalances where there were sellers apparent, but buyers did not bite or take any action. And we're going to go from there. Number two, second thing I need to start seeing is I want to start seeing the market tapering off, right? I want to see a big run of liquidity. So literally, as you guys can see here, buying power like crazy. We get buying blue bubbles. Say that 3 times fast. We start getting a lot of buying blue bubbles here, and we're like, okay, cool, right? I can start seeing that, yeah, there should be an area at which sellers start taking action, and I just want to confirm that action. Now, obviously, I wouldn't take it here. The market just opened. I'm not typically taking that first like 2 to 3 seconds of that market open. I want to see a clean structure, like I said. So a bunch of candles or order flow all showing me the exact same thing. You might say, well, why don't you take this one here? Well, we had a big buying blue bubble here. I'm not really all that convinced that there is going to be a seller in a buying blue bubble. I'm more convinced if this was a giant seller bubble where I knew there was sellers active here at the auction at 21,000 or 25,010, then I'd be like, fine, I could take the short here and see if it'll go back into here, but it didn't. What I then can see is, look at this. We can start going up here at 930.36. So at this candle right here, we know that there are sellers apparent in the order flow. But I wouldn't take that because I'm still waiting, right? I'm still waiting to see what's going to happen. I wait about literally 6 seconds later, this candle here at 9:30:42, we can start seeing what? Let's zoom in here on the order flow. I can now start seeing that there is a rejection up there. So based on the actual candle itself, there's a rejection. And I can start seeing the market wanting to try to taper off. Now, I know that the market completely fell like 30, 40 points. We're not shooting for 30, 40 points when I do this. I'm shooting for a very quick 10 points, let's call it. Let's call it 9 to 10 points. You can go for 15 to 20 if you want to, but you better be really fast at putting break even the minute that trade goes break even in your favor. Then all I'm looking for up here is confirmation, right? Like I said, 9:30:42 seconds. I see a rejection once again. So a wick to the top side. I see a seller popping up in the actual price action. I start seeing, even if I don't know what happened in the trade, I can still see my order flow starting to taper off. Look at this candle down here. We are now trying to push under in the actual candlesticks of the order flow. They're trying to essentially push under here to show us a downtrend. So I'm going to take a stab. I don't mind taking a stab knowing that on a second chart, my risk is really small, maybe 10 points, even less. And my take profit 1 and 2 all the way down here. So literally being able to risk here, I have enough confirmation to know that there was rejection to the top side. I then have 2 areas of failed sellers. And I now have an area in which I can just short here, risk about 10 to 12 points, knowing that I have take profit 1 and 2 all the way down here. So there were 16 points there, and all the way down here was 31 points. That's it. Like that does it. That's literally the edge that I've been abusing the last few weeks to just take a small amount of money into a much larger sum. Now, I'm going to once again say all glory be to God because it is God who's blessed me and shown me this. It is not by me and my own, conviction and all this. Like I didn't come up with this. This was something that God has showed me. I'm very blessed to say that. Now, you got to remember, this strategy only works within that first 1 to 2 minutes of the market open. If you're trading this 5 minutes later, 20 minutes later, you might be in a world of hurt. This works the best at that first market open, the first couple of minutes at best. And then from there, you're kind of just going, okay, cool. Now I need to go to a higher time frame. I already made, or you can call it a day, by the way. You can make your 16 or 30 points and go, you know what? I'm good. I made 16 points or 30 points. I risked literally 10 points to make a 1 to 3. I think I'm just going to thank God and I'm just going to walk away for the day. So look at this, right? We're still within that sweet spot. About a minute, almost 2 minutes later, we're doing the exact same thing, but we're now doing it on a divergence. So the first example was convergence. This is going to be a divergent example for you guys. Essentially showing me that, look here when we zoom in, right? Look here when we zoom in. Look at all these buying bubbles. So buying bubble here, buying bubble here. Now let's say, oh, hey, you didn't say anything about buying bubbles. What is this buying bubbles about? Oh, you don't got to worry about it. We're going to just literally look at the order flow, right? We're going to literally just turn our brain off and look at only the order flow. What is happening here in the order flow? We are still pushing higher. We have yet to actually form convergence, meaning that, yes, even though these sells were good, we are still showing that the market in the order flow itself is showing us that it wants to go higher. All I need to do is try to catch on price action a double bottom, meaning that I want to see if there's any potential for this in down here where the market opened. So here's our market open. I just want to see at our market open, do we have any potential buyers stepping in so that I can take this trade with some confidence and try to go back and swing it up to the top side, right? We can start looking here and we can start saying, yeah, there are buyers here and there's some buyers here and there's some buyers here, right? Now, remember, size is very important. You guys are not going to do this on one NQ contract and hope to God that this thing gives you zero drawdown. Instead, what you should be doing is doing it on one micro. You add a micro and then then you just wait it out. Does the order flow keep bouncing and showing potential to the top side? Yeah, it does. And then we can just eventually wait for a breakout and scale in. Breakout, right? So here it starts showing me that there's more absorption and it breaks out and then we can scale in. Instead, what you guys do is you put all $500 on one trade and you hope to God that it goes in your favor or else. That's not trading. That's gambling. You guys need to be traders. Hey, I want to scale in. I want to scale out. I want to see where there's confirmation and what's going on here. In order for me to take this trade, yeah, it wasn't bad here, right? I'm going to be completely honest. It wasn't bad here, right? We had a breakout. It failed a little bit. We got some rejection. We got about 16 points of rejection. I'm not panicked. Remember, I'm in on one micro. I'm not panicked. What am I down? A whole $5, $10? Who cares? We just made $30. We're only in on one micro. Maybe this was a good buy for you. Maybe you thought, hey, look at that big volume. We spiked up. Looks like we're going flat, but you guys need to do this on one micro, right? you take your 1 micro, and then we have room to add. We just made, by the way, 30 points. All we need to do is find an area in which I'm convinced that the market should continue to keep going, crawling up. So then what do I do here? I wait. Okay, so if this is really support and resistance, by the way, in our order flow, I'm going to draw it up. I'm going to mark it up. I'll put circles, squares, whatever. I'm going to make a mental note of it. Then every single time price action comes into here and I see a lower high or a back into a resistance area, I'm going to start adding into it. So look at here, 32 and 9 seconds, 32 and 9 seconds. So look at here, 32.03, right? We have a doji in this resistance area. We also have buyers supposedly still here. I would then add a contract to that candle there. So now I'm in on 2 micros. So now we'll put 2 MNQ. So now I'm here. My price action line is right there with 2 MNQ. If this trade does not now respect this area, I will get out of the trade from here. I know that my risk now is going to be roughly about 7 points. So we'll put down here. We'll put down here all the way over here our stop loss. SL for stop loss, right? So now I'm in on 2 micros. I have about a 7-point risk. Here's my stop loss. If order flow doesn't respect this area and it doesn't break higher, then we lose 7 points. But like I said, we just made roughly 16 to 30 points on the trade before. I can risk 7 points to try to capture another 10 points or 20 points or 30 points, whatever it may be. And look at this. We go from 1 micro, we scale in, now we're in 2 micros. I put a stop right under this resistance area, now hoping that it flips to support and that it supports the buyers here with all this bubble, with all this order flow showing me. Remember, same thing when we zoom out, look at all this from the pre-market, all that, it's telling me the same story. It wants to push up, it wants to do it, but instead we're pulling down and we're getting some divergence. I'm going to believe in the order flow first versus the price action. I'm going to trust in the order flow a little bit and see, okay, does this actually have the legs to push higher? And let's see what happens. And all you want to do, remember, is risk. Hey, I'm risking 7 points. Right to the bottom of that candle, there's 7 points. Maybe you put it a point or 2 below, maybe let's say 8 points, whatever. You can either go for a 1-to-1 or a 2-for-1. If you think that, hey, you know what, I'm just happy with a 1-for-1, I'm in 2 micros now, no problem, here you go. You would have literally got it from here within 6 to 7 seconds. You would have gotten plus 15 points. Just understanding where there are buyers and sellers trapped, using this dumb money concept has made me literally almost 5 times my risk in the matter of like 3 weeks. You guys could do this. So there it is. There's my edge that took me from literally $500 all the way up to almost $2,500. 5 times more money than I started with, all just doing this. Trading 1 to 2 micros, what I could afford, letting that thing scale in, scale up, rip me out, catching 15, 20, 30 points, and then shutting the trade down. Now, you guys got to remember something as well. You need to shut the trading down. Like when I'm up and I make $100 on the day on the micro account, I close the account down. I had on last Friday, I made $240 because I was able to trade 3 micros. By the way, I'm still trading micros even with a now balance of over $2,000. I'm still trading micros. You guys do not and should not be like adding in like, oh, okay, I'm only allowed 5 micros. I'm going to trade all 5 micros. No, we trade 1 micro. You make $20 a trade. Boom. You just keep adding to the pool. But then once you're over a certain amount, so the minute I got over like, let's say $1,000, then I started going to like 3 micros, 4 micros, 5 micros, right? Just on Friday, like I said, I made $240 trading micros. I think I only traded like 3 or 4 micros because I'm just waiting for these big flushes in my favor, grabbing $50, grabbing $100, doing that over and over again. But in the beginning, when you only have the $500, remember, you gotta just trade 1 micro. This edge literally has printed me money. It has printed a lot of my students' money. It is honestly how I'm also profitable continuously, even on prop firms. I just wanted once again to say thank God for his wisdom, for who he is, that God loves us every single day. And I can't stop saying thank you, God. I know that this is because of him, not because of me. I pray that you put God in the name of Jesus, #1 in your life every single day, and watch how much better your life gets because you're trusting in God, not in you. If you guys need more help, join us trading live. I do this live every single day for those who are confused. Remember, trading isn't hard. You're just making it harder than it needs to be. I'll see you guys in the next video. God bless.